Okay, hi. Are you ever just overwhelmed with things and then a little thing happens? Like a little thing and you're like, that's it, I can't handle life anymore. Like I don't have my AirPods in and I just realized I need new AirPods. Like my first gen refurbished AirPod Pros that I've had for 3 years are no longer holding a charge for any length of time. And like I depend on them. They're like, I feel about my AirPods the way that some people probably feel about, like, I don't know, like their 401k or something. They're just so important to me. Anyway, it's been such a terrible, not, I just got finished looking at Kyle's tribute video that Shania made, and I'm feeling some kind of way about it. It's upsetting. It's like becoming real. And then I've been sick. I guess I got the strep that my daughter had, and I just spent like 48 hours in a like blanket cocoon, shaking, you know. I got antibiotics. I'm feeling better, but I still feel bad. And so, yeah, I had like my whole family over to my house on the weekend, and I made gumbo for the first time, and it turned out bad. Like, I made too much roux. I don't know. It was not good. Everyone ate it, and like, also I think maybe because I got sick like early the next morning, that now it's just thinking about the gumbo, I have like taste dissociation. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm supposed to be talking about my classes, but this is my life. This is my life. Storm this morning, horrible winds woke everybody up. Like, somebody's revving a leaf blower right outside my window. Can you hear that? Can you even hear me? I'm just gonna keep talking. What is happening? Yeah. They're gonna come right over here to this window in a minute. So meanwhile, and of course I don't have my AirPods. They're just doing their job. It's fine. Last week in class. In my poetry class, we talked about, I don't even remember. We did our presentations, and I felt kind of bad because in my presentation, I talked about that I didn't like the assignment. And I made it clear that, like, it wasn't anything against the assignment itself. It's just that due to circumstances in my life, I didn't feel like I had the space, the time, the mental space to be creative. And so I just felt like I was being forced to push out this product and that it just didn't work for me. I don't think that Dr. Stone was offended, but it's possible that she was, because she did say sorry that you hated it, and I was like, oh, it's okay, or something. And then in my other class, we talked a lot about synthesizing ideas. We talked a lot about hermeneutics, and I had some questions about, like, what is the difference between a framework and a theory. Basically, we were talking about how we're about to write this synthesis paper where we take like 3 sort of theories or frameworks and try to combine them. And it, for one thing, my brain doesn't really function after like 9 o'clock at night. And so I was just like taking notes going, I really hope that this makes more sense tomorrow, because right now I was really just struggling because my brain is fried by that time of night. And then I woke up the next morning like, oh, I know what I'll do. And it just clicked for me. And so one of the really cool things about this class, and I don't know that it's always going to be like this, but we're able to get so much like personalized. This is just comical at this point. We're able to get so much personalized attention on our actual projects because there's literally 2 of us. And so we literally just spent the whole class period talking about the projects that we are working on, Brittany and I. And exactly how we're gonna go about the research. Like what sort of frameworks are we going to use and what methodologies. And it's just really awesome to have this sort of one-on-one, almost, one-on-two, I guess, experience. And if you don't get something, you really can just be like, hey, I don't get this, and in real time it's taken care of. It's very cool. So I think what I'm going to do, first of all, I narrowed down and decided what I'm going to write about. And I am going to write about memes and how they function sort of like tarot, or like magical symbols in a religion, specifically in like far-right political extremist online spaces. And sort of I'm going to be looking at like sort of the different articles that I'm pulling and books that I'm pulling are on like memes and digital culture, like broadly, but also things like the visual semiotics of tarot and the structuralism of Roland Barthes, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. And then basically like what happens in a person's brain when they view these magical symbols and what does it mean. And so basically I'm going to be pulling from the theory of dimensional accrual and dissociation. The idea being that, these people who traffic in memes think of themselves as very, very like high level thinkers, very rational, logical, and above it all. But the way that they're using memes and the way that the memes work on them is more like a lower level sort of literal, magical, idolic way of thinking and perceiving and making meaning. And so I'm going to be using the theory of dimensional accrual and dissociation, DAD theory, as well as an identity hermeneutic, because it does whiteness and usually maleness is kind of inherent to this understanding or this interpretation. And then on top of that, I'm looking at perhaps bringing in some Marx, because how we get to this point is that you have, the isolation of the worker, right? The alienation of the worker from his work, right? You have people sitting around at computers all day, not really interacting with the physical world. Their labor is sort of alienated from them and them from it. They don't have to go out and toil and put their hands in the dirt to get food. There's no sunshine on their faces. There's no interaction with real humans. Everything becomes this like sort of they're removed from everything. Nothing really seems real. And I think in that space, magical symbols are going to work on you better, right? Kind of like being in an isolation tank and hallucinating, Anyway, these are just the beginnings of thoughts about all this. I don't really know yet. But I'm writing a synthesis paper for next week about how I'm going to bring these ideas together into one thingy So talking to you guys helps me talk through it. My poetry class, we're meeting in a car dealership, interviewing someone and writing a poem about it. That'll be interesting. I'll have more to talk about next week, but this video is already long. It's still just a weird time. It's a sad time here. It's a very busy time here. We all feel slammed, overwhelmed, and upset. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, it's kind of a downer these days. I'll see you guys around. Bye.